Hello, once again, my name is Tim Grady. I'm from the Lawton Seventh-day Adventist Church, Lawton, Oklahoma, USA. I am just a member. Today, I'm going to use this video as a starting point. I will leave a link to the video in the description. I would like to start off by saying I appreciate this video very, very much. This is a beautiful idea, beautiful concept, wonderful. This is, as Seventh-day Adventists, what we are supposed to be doing. I do very much enjoy the point of view and the concepts brought forward in this video very much. I am going to, like I said, leave a link to this video in the description below. But that is my reaction to this video. I will not play this video. I will encourage you to go to the original source. I will also encourage you to subscribe to their channel. But with that said, thank you for making a good video. But with that said, I'm going to go on to some concepts that she started, but she has not had the experience in doing so. I say move to the country. If that is what God is inspiring you to do, please do. But if you cannot get out into the country, there is a concept called apartment homesteading. Apartment homesteading is an idea that is come out of permaculture design as a subzone 2 or subzone 1 gardening system. It is kind of a newer concept, even though if we go back in history, there have been many people that have done what I'm about to talk about is in apartment homesteading. Now, another time I'm going to cover city homesteading. And I will take the Pasadena, the man in Pasadena, California, that did on an 1/8 acre where he supported his family. He was using some permaculture design, but he went more advanced than permaculture design. And he took basically everything that wasn't his home and turned it into gardening. But what he discovered is he could not fully support his family on just subsistence gardening. So what he did is he took high value gardening and marketed to kitchens, high-end kitchens, high-end food restaurants. And he marketed the organic, locally grown, and raised the value to where he could grow 60% of his food, take the rest of the production, and move it over and take the money from the high value crops and supporting the high-end restaurants or food kitchens or whichever, and selling that food and supporting himself that way. Very good concept. But I am going to talk today about apartment homesteading. And I'm sorry, I'm 6.5 minutes into this video already, and I haven't gotten to the full point, but I will again. Please go like and subscribe to the channel that I'm linking below. I think you will enjoy it. But back to what homesteading, apartment homesteading is taking what you have within your walls and growing food within your home, apartment, or whatever. Now, there is a concept of self-watering bucket gardens. I've made a video on that already, but I will now let's go self-watering bucket gardens. Okay, now let's take the man that put it on YouTube and see if he comes up in the top. Self-watering bucket gardens. See if I can find him. Again, this concept is nothing new. And the man that I'm about to show you, if I can find him, is the one that brought it out, and he did the he did the bucket garden on the using a rain gutter and putting multiple buckets, and he moved it forward to where he added air to increase the growing, and he moved the bucket gardening. Okay. Self-watering bucket rain gutter. It's, again, there are very many ones that are here that are very good. And let's go self-watering bucket garden or rain gutter and see what that comes up with. And I'm sorry I'm not more prepared for this video. But he's the one 15, 20 years ago. Here is his principle used. Here is his principle used again. If you put this behind your couch and use some LED lights, 2 red, 1 blue, and you go research on how to efficiently use your LED lights to grow indoors, you can show how to grow much of your own food in a very small, high density. Here he is. I like giving him credit for what he's done. But he is the first one to tell you, please take this idea and move it forward. But I like giving him credit for what he did. You can go back to many of these concepts. And the self-watering bucket garden goes way back into the 50s and 40s and 30s. But he is the one. I will put a link to his channel in the description below because I like giving him credit. He's the first one to do so. But again, this is, I haven't been keeping up with the idea of I have not been keeping up with this man's what he's done with it in the last 8 or 10 years. But I have looked at what people have done with it. And this is probably the most advanced system right here of the system. He probably has the float, so it will fill itself up, and when it evaporates down. I don't see that he's added air to this, but I have not watched the video. So see, he's got the floats, so it's self-watering or self-filling. He's showing how to do it. Now, the reason he's using these bags, let me move it over a little here. And the reason he's using these bags is it's called self-pruning. So when the root ball, it'll grow through, see, there's the valve. That's the idea that Larry in the channel I showed earlier started this concept. And the reason you're using the bags is so it's called self or sun pruning. The root ball will grow through these bags. Okay. And when the root ball grows through the bags, the air will dry them out, or the sun will hit them and dry them out, and they will self-prune. That's why it's called a air pruning or sun pruning method. I like what this guy's doing here. I like how he's using and not using expensive caps. I like that. I like how he's gone. I like what this man is doing. I really do. He has taken the idea of the man of this man's system and moved it up a notch or two. I like how he's using the heat gun to make the and not using an expensive end cap that can leak. Wow. It's a pretty good idea. I like this, guys. I'm going to open this video and I'm going to put a link to it in the description because it is that good of an idea. Now, I don't know if he's, since I'm not fully watching the video, he's using proper soil. He's doing all the things that he's mixing his soil. I like how he's using the tarp. There are a lot of good things here. Is he coming from a rain barrel and rain catchment? I don't know if he's doing that. So you can watch the video. And again, I like how he's advanced what the man did originally, what this man did originally many, many years ago. I don't know if he's even, let's see, what is the last video? What is the last video he put out? I don't know if he's even making videos anymore. 3 years ago, it appears he's the last video he made. He did not do this for apartment homesteading, but apartment homesteading. Now here is another good idea that he has done. People have taken this idea and run with it. Here's another one where you can grow multiple plants out of it. Very good idea. Very good idea. Again, he took an idea of the simple self-watering well, that's not loading very well. Yeah, so everything gets very slow. And again, there are many other ideas. And again, I will give him the credit for There. Okay. I don't want to get hit by YouTube for having music on my video. Again, I will link to his video. He is the one that I first found out about it. He's the one that made the rain gutter advancement. He's the one that did, if you look here in some of his videos, he did the high density backyard system right here, where he stacked up the rain gutters and did very high density. He explains in this video, he explains how and why he put them as close as he did. Some very good stuff in that video. So I'm giving him credit as he's the one that I first found many, many years ago. I think it was 10 or 15 years ago when he started putting these videos out. Yes, over 12 years ago that he put this video out. And this is not the first video that he did, but I like giving him credit as he is the first one that I saw on YouTube promoting the idea of building these self-watering bucket gardens, adding the rain gutter system, adding the stacking of the rain gutter systems, many other advancements in the concept. I think he also was the one that put out how to make a self-watering bucket out of a kiddie pool. That's a good video. I don't see that video on there, but I think he's the one that made that video, or it was someone that was within his group that made that video. But I don't see that video on YouTube anymore. Again, that video was 12 or 15 years ago. But you can make them where you put two kiddie pools, you put the second kiddie pool down, and you put the net buckets on through the one kiddie pool. You keep and you just grow high density within that kiddie pool. I like his idea that he's going through here on the rain bucket garden system that he did 12 years ago. And again, there are many people that have advanced it. This is an advance to that. This is a hybrid where he's putting buckets and bags. And again, the bags get damp. And if you do it inside, you have to put a tarp down so you don't damage your floor and all the rest of it. There's a lot of things to this, but I am going into apartment homesteading is the concept I'm trying to bring out today. And this is a concept that you can grow one of these rows behind your couch and grow a whole lot of food. And with anything, plant selection is what it's all about. If you grow the proper plants in a high density system like this man's right here, in the grow bags or in the buckets indoors, I see the problem with the buckets is the root ball. You have to kind of pull them out and ruin the root balls, and that's a very advanced gardening technique. When you are doing high density gardening methods, you have to take some additional precautions that are not taken in other types of gardening. Number one, you have to learn how to top and prune your plants. I've already done a basic video on the concept of it, but that is a skill that you will need to learn in high density gardening or farming techniques. How to a lot of other concepts and designs. Also, do not monoculture your indoor garden because you've got a very small space. If you monoculture, disease can spread very rapidly through your so if you're growing all tomato plants and you get one diseased tomato or similar plant groups, and you can spread that disease through your whole system and have to start over again. Again, there are many, many different ways. This is just one way. Here's another of the original Larry of everyone Hall, or Larry or everyone Hall. Here's some more of the concepts. Yes, he's the one that started this, but I'm trying to go into apartment homesteading, taking it to a different path than another person, or here's another concept he had 12 years ago. Of how to grow all the way down to apartment homesteading. Like I said, you can take a row like this and plant it along your walls, bring your furniture out, let it grow up your walls, use LED lights for lighting. If you have any natural lighting, you can get the natural lighting to supplement, and you can supplement with either completely LED lights, or you can go with LED supplementing the limited natural light. There are ways, if you think outside the box, on how to grow food within your home. This is just one method. There are other wall gardens, there are other hanging gardens, there are other concepts. This is just the one that is the most flexible that I have found to grow food indoors without going to a hydroponic, aeroponic, or even a I can't think of the one with the fish and the aquaponic. Now, those are three methods that are also very good. I do not like them. I have done an aquaponic in a 10 by 10 room. I know the drawbacks of doing an aquaponic in a 10 by 10 room. One of the drawbacks is if you're going to put 700 gallons of water in a 10 by 10 room, you have to go up underneath and support, with container and water. A water container is 10 pounds a gallon. Water is 8 pounds a gallon. You have to remember that. So when you're going to go off and do an aquaponic system and add 700 gallons into a 10 by 10 room, wow, 700 times 10 is 7,000 pounds. You have to consider that when are you going to go underneath and store up the floor like I did to support that 7,000 pounds in a 10 by 10 room. I had to add that cost in. So no, I cannot recommend doing aquaponics. Now, if you're doing it in a basement and you can have the 7,000 pound, but even 7,000 pounds of water in a basement can still separate and crack your cement foundation from your cement pad floor and still crack and damage it. So when you are looking at these systems, you have to look at them in a complete and whole system. Obviously, this man is going through and showing you the proper soils, and obviously he's got it down. I like how he mixed them. I like how he used the tarp. Everything this man is doing is pretty advanced on the concept, using the tarp and mixing the soil properly to get the proper drainage and so that the wicking of the soil can properly do it. I like his simple mixing idea. It is a permaculture idea that is used in small backyard gardening, have used these for many, many of a time. I can go back into the 30s and 20s and even further beyond in some of the gardening books from when and where that method was used to mix soil. So yes, there are a lot of good concepts in this video. Again, this is a good starting point to learn from. And again, I cannot recommend aquaponics with the fish and the growing system and the gravel. When you start adding it up, you start out with 700 gallons of water, then you add the gravel or whatever inert media that you're going to have the grow beds and all of the other methods. It was very expensive to build. Then it was not only the 7,000 pounds of water in the tubs. It was not, and in my 10 by 10, I grew fruit trees, which were called single stick fruit trees. That's another concept I will probably talk about someday. I also grew many other crops that they say you cannot grow in hydroponics, aquaponics, like fruit trees, citrus trees, banana trees, and the things that were grown in that system. I also grew corn. I also grew other things that say that you cannot do in hydroponics and aquaponics. But if you think outside the box, you do a little bit of research, you can find people that have done those systems and grown. Yes, it is a lot of effort. Yes. It was very expensive experiment. So no, I cannot recommend doing that. Now, hydroponics and aeroponics I can recommend, but you're going to have to do a lot of research, a lot of learning, and the learning curve on aeroponics, because now you're using very little water, you're using no growing media because it's air on the roots. You've got the proper root ball. And again, you have to go through in aeroponics and you have to learn how to trim your root ball, how to prune your plants so they do not overgrow. And if you prune them back properly, you will get more vegetables or more fruit or whichever out of your stalk or plant. And those are things that when you go into some of these more advanced gardening methods, the learning curve is very steep. The reason why I like these self-watering bucket gardens for apartment homesteading, and when it comes into the inside of growing in the apartment, I do not necessarily, because here it shows why. And this man down here, when he's doing it, you can see how the water wicks up and wicks out into these, and you can see where the roots are even coming out in some of these, and the root ball is self-pruning. But I do not see he even had to put a lid underneath so it didn't drip on the ground. I recommend where he's going to the buckets in the inside. Also, if you notice on his bags here, something you do not want in your home. If you go to these bags in the back, if he pans up a little more, let me see if I can find it here. You're growing mold, moss, and other things you do not want to grow inside your home. Outside, no problem. It's part of nature. But in your home, you do not want this moisture and mold. Outside, it's controlled. Inside your home, not controlled. Cannot recommend these bags inside your home. I recommend the hard plastic buckets, but I do not recommend something that is going to stay moist and mold in your home. So again, when you start thinking through these processes, I know I'm running long on this video. This was trying to be an introduction video to apartment homesteading, and that there is, with permaculture design, there are sub zone 1 gardening methods. Permaculture design starts collapsing when you bring it into the house. But a lot of the principles of permaculture design, of water management, wind management, time management, and again, permaculture design, one of the most important things is the impact on humans. And if your time is valuable, that is probably the number one value that most people don't look at in permaculture design, is how to do a lazy man garden. And that is one of the so you have less time put into the garden for the output you receive. That is one of the big permaculture design principles. But that's a different video. Again, we're talking about sub zone 1 gardening if you're looking at permaculture design, or if you're just looking at it as apartment homesteading. You have a space in an apartment. And again, air management. If you do not put air across your plants, now, I want to stop from the earlier part of the view, and now I'm going to get to the conclusion of this video. Number 1, apartment homesteading is possible. Number 2, apartment homesteading needs a lot more care and attention than it does a garden outside, because you have to deal with mold, you have to deal, because you're dealing with water, other than a kitchen and a bathroom situation. Even in a kitchen and bathroom situation, you have to worry about your molds, your mildews, all of your other things that go with that. Air management. You have to have air management and have air flowing across it. That now, let's stop with the advantages. Or let's stop with some of the disadvantages and let's go to more of the advantages. Growing plants inside your home. Number 1, if you grow food plants, you can get food from it. Number 2, you can take, it makes oxygen. Anytime you bring nature and God's creation into your home with proper care and attention and proper management, it is a blessing. Whether you do houseplants to increase the oxygen, to consume what you breathe out, and have that exchange, and using God's creation to make the air cleaner in your home. If you do many other things that go with it, apartment homesteading can be a very good thing. But you have to take more caution with bringing water, plants, living things into your home. But again, there are many more advantages than disadvantages, but you have to pay attention to details. With that said, I think I'm going to leave this video here, as I have recapped that apartment homesteading is viable, it is healthier, and you can produce your own food. Homesteading. I'm going to give my definition of homesteading now. Homesteading is where you do it for yourself to gain independence. Whether you are a homesteading principle is, I need to learn how to fix my own car so I don't have to pay someone else to do it. So I save money so I can do things to experiment with plants. I can build a skill. A skill cannot be taken away from you. A stroke can take it away from you, but a human, the only way they can take it away from you is kill you. If you build a skill, I know I'm being harsh, but the more skills you build, the more independent you can be, whether it is fixing a car, growing food, being able to paint, do drywall, do home repairs, do all the things. The more broader you can have your education, the more you can be independent. So that's my philosophy of homesteading. With that said, I'm sorry, this is a 38 plus minute video. So out here.